So as some of you know, I changed my name on YouTube. It used to be ALLCD88, which was just it's my like Twitter handle and email, and it was just some initials for my name and the year I graduated high school. So I wanted something to reflect what I'm trying to get across with my channel, which is, not everybody can be certified mechanics, but I certainly believe that for most problems that we have with our vehicles and our bikes, that we can sort through the problems, critically think, and do the work ourselves, because nobody cares more about what I'm driving or riding than me. I've seen a lot of instances of not up to par work done by mechanics that I would not have, I wouldn't have done that kind of work on my vehicle or any of my family's vehicles, and pretty appalling. I'm not slamming all mechanics, with a white brush or painting them all with a bright brush, but, for the most part, most issues are solvable and fixable by me, the owner, and you, the owner. And if I can help, then that's what I'm going to do. I've used YouTube for years for troubles that I'm trying to sort out with my vehicles, and it's just came in. It's a great resource. So I'm hoping to be able to help others gain the confidence and be brave enough to tear into their own Spyders and vehicles in general. So the new name is It's Yours, Own It. And it just means, if it's yours, own it. Take responsibility for it. There's no need in taking a vehicle or a Spyder to a shop and ending up having to leave it there for weeks, and I've seen horror stories of months. And it's a little different if it's warranty work, but man, I'd sure make sure you have a good shop and trust them, and hope they have the sense of urgency to fix it as you do to ride it, because somebody keeps my Spyder for a month in the summer, the spring or fall, that's a huge part of our riding season. I've put on almost 11,000 miles this season already, and if I'd have been out of commission for a month of that, boy, it would have been significantly lower. And I work full time and have grandkids and family, and I'm not out every time I could be on this. And we had kind of an early fall. It cooled off early in September. Usually up here in Nebraska, we're 100 degrees when we go into September, and we've lost, and then going into October, it's been much colder than normal. But we got some good rides in this summer. We went on a 12-dayer. From here over into the middle of Wyoming, and then up over Beartooth Pass, up to Glacier National Park in Montana. Spent a couple days there, and then went across through Idaho and Washington to Mount St. Helens. I've always wanted to see Mount St. Helens since it erupted when I was 10 years old. So we went up there and got to see Mount Rainier, and went over to the coast in Oregon, stayed in Astoria, and then back through Oregon and Idaho, and stayed in Yellowstone a couple days. And I've got video of most of those days. I'll put up a few videos of that trip. We pulled my little trailer with camping gear, and was actually able to camp 8 of the 11 nights we were gone. One of them I thought I was getting sick, and we'd been stuck in a traffic jam in Idaho for an hour or two. Seemed like forever. It was really hot, and by the time we got into Coeur d'Alene, I pulled the eject button and just got a motel room that night. And then when we got to Astoria, Oregon, it had just been raining ever since we'd left Mount St. Helens earlier that day, and just kept getting worse and worse, so we got a room that night. But it was a blast. I haven't had that much fun in years. Just riding and camping and enjoying life. The Spyder performed really well. I had some ACS, the automatically controlled suspension problems. I'm still in the process of sorting that out. I'm going to have a couple really good videos on that, on troubleshooting that and fixing it. And you know, if you want to do away with it, I've actually done away with it right now, because I bought one of the VI Air 97C pumps, put it in, and then my youngest daughter, she graduated college this year, so I took her on a trip to Yellowstone, camped in Yellowstone, and that VI Air pump went bad, so I ended up just disabling the system for now. I got a new BRP pump, so I'm going to put it back to original here after the riding season. But yeah, I'll finish the video when I do that and talk about the trouble I had with that VI Air pump, and what my concerns with going that route is. So stay tuned for that. I've got a video on these turn signals. These I really like them things. Keeps me from having to look in the dash, you know, especially when the sun's behind you beating on the dash. You can't tell if a turn signal's on, so it keeps me from being one of those guys. Nobody wants to be one of those guys. But yeah, I've done a lot of riding. We went up to, when I was in Yellowstone with my daughter camping, that was just a blast. We camped right in Yellowstone in a tent. You know, signs all over. Grizzly bears, don't put food in your tents. You know, woke up in the middle of the night hearing some crunching footsteps through the gravel outside of my tent, and turned out to be an elk, but it made that night memorable and the trip memorable. And then while we were there, one of my brothers texted me saying he got a Harley and where are we going to go next weekend. So we came back from Yellowstone and took a couple more days off on the front side of that next weekend, and we went up to Teddy Roosevelt National Park in North Dakota. And that was a blast. If you want to ride through a lot of nothingness, ride from Belfouche, South Dakota up into North Dakota. I thought I was going to have to send one of my brothers with their Harley in a gas can, because I thought I was going to run out of gas before we found a gas station up there. But we made it. So anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing to the channel, and It's yours, own it.